my feet. Wanna drip on one. Wanna move my feet. Wanna drip on one. Wanna move my feet. Wanna drip on one.
Morning folks, so today we are walking along the Erewash Canal and we're going to head up to the Great Basin where the three canals met, which is the Erewash Canal, the Nottingham Canal and also the Cromford Canal. Once we reach the Great Basin we're going to head on to the Nottingham Canal, which is now disused, and then we'll head down to Ilkeston is where we're starting today. Along the way we're going to pass the Bennerley Viaduct, pass a few locks, I'm not sure how many, about 6 or 7, before we get up to Langley Mill at the Great Basin. Now this route is about 7.5 miles in total, and let's see what we can find along the route. In 1968, the Erewash Canal was threatened with closure, but local people, boaters, fishermen and ramblers joined together to fight for its survival. The Erewash Canal Preservation and Development Association have worked hard since that time to make the canal what it is today. Jesus must have been a duck, because these are walking on water. It's a David Bland moment. I should show you how solid this is, because here's a stone. That was cool. We'll go through that again. Don't know if we're going to be able to amplify that noise. On in. Well, I would say that's a nice piece of black ice, and up the steps as well. So I'm having my wits about me walking through this bit. This is Barker's Lock, number 70, and also it's Bridge 22. Now, as we can see just in front is a development, and this is now a new nursing home, but before then was a pub. This incredibly successful canal was built to transport coal by boat from the Derbyshire and Nottinghamshire coalfields to the River Trent. But by the 1830s, coal could be transported even more cheaply by rail, and the canal became less profitable. In the 1800s, the canal would have been busy with horse-drawn upper Trent boats, heavily loaded with coal and goods of all kinds. By the late 1960s, wooden pleasure cruisers like these have become a feature of the canal instead of old work boats. This is Stenson's Lock, number 71. As you can see, it's a bit frozen, and well, looks like no boats have been around here for a while. There's a lot of debris in the canal. And this is the lock next to the Bennerley Viaduct, which we're approaching just upon that right in a moment. So as we can see from the Bennerley Viaduct, just by in front of it, they're doing some works, and eventually this is going to be a footpath and a cycleway for people to cross the railway tracks via the Bennerley Viaduct. It has been taking a little bit of time, but that might be due to COVID. Just about to make out some water down here. Just below these trees here is the river, and that's the Erewash River. and then over there is, I think it's called Orsworth. Here was an old, I believe it was a brickworks at one point. There was an old works here. Now it's quite derelict, a bit of a scrubland. Alright, we're going to continue on. Seems the moles have been having a jolly old time around here. I bet they're hibernating in here. It's a bit cold today. A bit cold on the digits, although it is warming up. That's the thing about today. Being alongside the canal, we're getting to see a lot of wildlife. The problem being is trying to catch it on camera, because every time I turn the camera off, something runs by or flies by, and then I get the camera out and it's gone. A lot of birds in these bushes on the right hand side. Might be able to catch a few of them as we walk alongside. Mainly sparrows. I've seen a bullfinch, chaffinch, goldfinch so far. A couple of sparrows there. I'm surprised, I'll be very surprised if there's no warblers flying around here. They do like to stay in these little hedgerows. The good thing about canals is that generally they're out in nature. They're cutting through the landscape. Now 200 years ago when they were built, they were very rural. It's over the time the canals became disused due to trains being built, and generally the train tracks were built not far from the canals. And then and progress again, the roads were built to transport heavier freight, and again they were built alongside the train tracks, so it's a progression. So you can just about hear some distant road noise. It's still nice to be where we are, still be able to see the wildlife, and there's not much built up area around here, which is all great. It's away from the rat race, and I don't like being with the rat race. So here's bridge 23A, and it's a split bridge. So here's a secondary bridge as the train goes over us, and this is the, I believe it's called the Erewash Railway that we're going underneath now. Yes, I do enjoy being out in nature whenever I can, and it's nice to be out by yourself, away from it all. Although saying that, if a lady friend or partner, as I think they call them, it's been so long, can't remember what they call them now, girlfriends is it? Well anyway, it'd be nice if I had one of those that liked walking with me, but until that happens, we'll quite gladly continue coming out by myself. As I mentioned before, good for my well-being, good for my own sanity, and good for my own fitness. And that's the other thing is once we get out of lockdown and I can start doing some longer walks, get out in the Peak District and beyond, because while I've been in lockdown, I'm doing these shorter walks of 6 or 7 miles to keep within my recreational period of time that I'm allowed out. I've been putting on a few pounds sitting at home. I'm looking forward to lockdown finishing and losing them pounds again. Generally, so those people that want to lose weight, walking is a brilliant way of losing weight. We're plodding along, enjoying the views, and I hope you are too. So the next bridge on our little walk, and this is 25, one of the older ones by the look of it. It's got a lock the opposite side of it. And we're also on the Erewash Valley Trail. So the trail is about 30 miles of beautiful waterway and countryside landscape in which goes through Nottinghamshire and Derbyshire, alongside the borders. Well, there we have a hairy horse. I bet he's looking forward to lockdown to be finished as well, so we can go to the barber shop. Could do with going there myself soon. Well, we're doing better than the last lockdown. I look like Grizzly Adams at the end of that one. So we just passed Shipley Lock as I was there. Spoke to a gentleman who used to be a salesman and he's travelled across America and have out. But hopefully if you're watching this video, then it was nice to meet you. And I'll look forward to looking at your videos on your channel at some point. And as we're leaving the Shipley Lock as well, we're just going over this bridge, which is the River Erewash below us. You can see the blue sky and the clouds and everything else, and landscape. It's a gorgeous landscape to walking across. I'm enjoying it. And if you are enjoying it and you haven't subscribed, then please do. We'd like to watch some more of them. We also do videos on hiking and camping and backpacking, wild camping, some skills and tips, gear reviews, and anything on to do with the outdoors. If you want to see more of these videos, and I'm trying to also do some abandoned buildings this year, but I'll hike with abandoned building, not just go to abandoned building. On property and have a look around, then I will do. But I'm not breaking into any properties to have a look inside. I've gone far enough without getting a criminal record. I don't intend to get one now. It won't do my career any good, getting a criminal record. So I think we'll stick out to that one. But if I can get to see any abandoned buildings or tunnels or anything like that, then I'm quite happy to have a butcher's at that. As I mentioned before, please subscribe if you haven't done. Add a like to the video, share the video, and put a comment. Always like a comment. Okay, I was mistaken. Past Shipley Lock. I thought Langley Mill Lock was the next one. But when I walked about 500 metres, I found another lock. So, as I was walking along, I saw a guy, and as I had my camera set up and I was filming one of the locks, he said to me, "Are you a blogger?" And I thought, "I don't know, am I?" And I thought, I think I must be. Maybe not a blogger, but a vlogger, a video logger. So, 50 videos in, and I think I've worked out who I am. I'm a vlogger. I couldn't have said it better than myself. So we're just reaching the next bridge along the track, and he's got something to say about that. So I think this is 26, bridge 26. Belper Matlock Angling Clubs, which is surprising because neither of those are anywhere near it. I just noticed here, can't tell the difference between where the canal ends and that waterfront starts. So a bit of flooding here in the canal. So this is private land, but the use of vehicles, golfing, the exercising of dogs or any animal is expressly prohibited. And looking across here, I don't know how you can play golf here. I mean, that's my type of golf playing. I mean, it's in the rough, because that's where I always am, in the rough when I play golf. Was it crazy golf? So reaching the next bridge. Are you keeping up? What bridge is this then? I think it's 27. And the advance is on 27? I was correct, it is bridge 27. I just noticed this building here, and in particular it says happy hour, daily 12 to 4. There's although the sign's upside down, it says lounge, function room, children's room. Looks like just a big garage. And they've got a lounge and a function room all in that little building there. I don't think so. As the sign says, no magnet fishing. What the hell is magnet fishing? We put magnets on the end of the line, but I'm sure fish aren't made of metal, unless it's those little ones that you get at the fair. So we're just reaching, I believe, the basin, which should be the other side of this bridge. And this will be bridge 28. The basin is part of 3 canals, which they all connected, and obviously is a hub. ECP and the DA welcome you to the Great Northern Basin and Cromford Canal. There's the sign, Cromford Canal, 1794, engineered by William Jessup and Benjamin Outram. So this is where the Cromford Canal, Nottingham Canal and the Erewash Canal all meet. So this is the ending point of the Erewash, the ending point of the Cromford, and the start point of the Nottingham Canal. And that looks like it's overflowing. Langley Mill, once simply a crossing point on the River Erewash, long known for its water mill, grew in the late 18th century, along with the development of mining and canal transport. And in front of us is the Great Basin. The basin marks the northern end of the Erewash Canal and the Erewash Valley Trail. We're about 11 miles from the Trent Lock and less than a mile from Eastwood. The basin once formed the junction of 3 waterways: the Cromford Canal, the Nottingham Canal and the Erewash Canal. Well, they look a bit gutted. They went for the length of one narrowboat off the ice onto the water, and now it's frozen again. There's some nice artwork on this one. Bit of a mismatch of artwork, but there's not a theme to it, but nevertheless it's quite nice. Little boat here, it's probably the smallest one we've seen. It's 14 miles on the Nottingham Canal. This is the Nottingham Canal. And there's a swing bridge, so obviously that's how you would get through that section. You swing the bridge. And then behind us we have the Nottingham Canal toll office, so you would have paid a toll to use the canal. It's nice to see the building is still here, a relic of the past. So the Cromford Canal is 14.5 miles long. That opened in 1794, 17 years after the Erewash Canal opened, and 2 years later the Nottingham Canal opened. In 1796, the Cromford Canal starts in Cromford, being the birthplace of Sir Richard Arkwright's modern factory and mill system, after the creation of the spinning frame, which harnesses water to power his cotton mills. Hopefully after lockdown passes, we'll get to walk the whole Cromford Canal, fingers crossed. Well, we're still in lockdown. You wouldn't know it by looking at this road. It's just horrendous traffic. I mean, I'm scared to go into the national parks because of the police, and yet there's so much traffic, you wouldn't believe we're in a lockdown. So mileage, so if we go left, it's Cromford 14 miles, even though it said on the sign a minute ago 15 miles. If you're going to London, it's 171 miles away. Nottingham's 22, Manchester's 132, Liverpool's 182, Stoke is 72, Oxford 151, and Leeds is 148. Interesting, because although they're saying that's south, a lot of those places are north. London, Nottingham, Stoke, Oxford are south. Leeds, Liverpool, Manchester are all north. We didn't decide to spend much of a break here. Although it's nice, there's a lot of noise from the cars here, and it's bloody cold. It's probably dropped down to about -1 at the minute, so it's not probably the best spot to sit and have a picnic. So the Nottingham Canal just starts there, probably from really the swing bridge, and there's a few boats moored up here. But then, as I said, the Nottingham Canal is no longer in use. I've just noticed actually both gates are locked or closed, and the water height on that end is the same height as the gate that's closed. So melting snow and ice, and then that's the reason why this end is pouring the water. I would expect that these gates are in use at some point, because all these boats that are here, they need to go get from A to B somehow. And if the Cromford Canal's not in use and the Nottingham Canal's not in use, then the only way they can go is this way onto the Erewash Canal. But while it's flooded like that, it can't go anywhere. Well, this lock is definitely not in use. I don't know what lock the number this is, but it's seen better days. So we just left the Great Basin and we're heading along Anchor Road with the A610s on our left hand side. And we'll continue walking down here and then we'll pick up on the Nottingham Canal. This is the point where we move away from the noise, hopefully, and this will take us onto the Nottingham Canal, as this signpost shows. So it's obviously part of the Erewash Valley Way, but we're going to head along this way, and soon, hopefully, we should see the water of the canal. So we've managed to find the Nottingham Canal, so this is probably the first point of actually a waterway since we left the basin. So we're going to continue following this now. We were just walking a moment ago, we just had that bit of water by alongside us, and I thought, wow, we're alongside Nottingham Canal now, but it's disappeared again. It's filled in. As I noticed as I was walking towards this bridge, as you can see, it's more of an archway. You can just see the base of the opening, but these trees and outs are overgrown. So where I'm actually walking in a minute is directly in the middle of Nottingham Canal. Obviously it's all filled in now. We again find water again, so the canal again is in use. That's being like this is more of a nature reserve than anything else now. Like they said about the Cromford Canal, looking at bringing it back to life so boats will be able to go down it, I don't think this one, they'll be bringing this one back to life. So you'll see all the reeds and everything else, I think called bushes. When they are dry, they're very good kindling for your fires. It was a bit old, and this one is a little bit better because it's actually got water underneath it. And this one's actually an old swing bridge, a bit low for a boat to get underneath there. So here is a swing bridge, so you can see the cabling just by that post there. Well, I've put some weight on over lockdown, but hopefully I'm not the weight of a horse. So we'll try walking this way. No, I'm not the weight of a horse. That's a blessing. I think that's the only heron we're going to see today. As mentioned earlier, the Nottingham Canal opened in 1796. It stretched 14.7 miles, starting at the Great Basin and finished at the River Trent. It is now disused and was really doomed from the start, where Lord Middleton of Woollerton Hall only wanted the canal to be built to the east side of the park, otherwise he would oppose the canal. The canal was built passing the east of the estate, but making the journey longer and more difficult to build by the terrain it passed through. The canal today is only usable from the River Trent to Lenton, where it branches off along Beeston Cuttings. The northern part of the Nottingham Canal, where we are, has now been abandoned. of use and is now partially filled. Really only had a lifespan of 40 years when its decline due to competition of the faster railway was built near to the course of the canal. By 1923 the canal had closed and since has become mainly a nature reserve and a passageway for pedestrians by using its old towpath. We've just reached the Bennerley Viaduct again. Obviously the other side of the canal and railway tracks, and we're on this scrubland, and we're going to continue along the left hand side of it. We'll pass where it starts at that end, and then we'll follow the canal, which is basically in that direction back towards Ilkeston and beyond. A bit cheeky, the viaduct is closed to the public. There is a fence, but to sneak my way around it. I'm not going across it, but this is the Bennerley Viaduct. As you can see, it's all like girders, which would have been the rail track would have gone across it. I believe with heritage they're going to fill these gaps up so it become a pedestrian route, because I'm not sure how your bike's going to get through that. Go along all the way along there. It's, as I say, it's a third of a mile long. Each of these gaps is about 12 inches apart and about 9 inches high. So it'd be a bit tricky walking down there, never mind on a bicycle. So we've managed to get past the railings, but I realised that they put anti-climbing paint on it, and I put my hand all over it, so my hand's all covered in black stuff now. In reality that's like a ski jump, how steep a ski jump is going down. On the camera it looks like I'm on the flat. But this bit looks like a proper canal. And the other point of it is that you can see all these little bays it's used for fishing. I'm not sure what these green bags on the right hand side on the fence are for. Litter bins? I'm not sure. There's quite a lot of them. This part of the canal is actually for walkers, runners and cyclists, and as we can see, fishermen as well. I'm not sure if you can see those birds, but I've got no idea what they are. I'm guessing they're for food because they're quite plump. I was going to say they were grouse, but they're not grouse. But seems they were quails. Oh, also ducks. They were definitely not ducks, and they weren't chickens, so they must have been quails. Although they looked a bit big for quails. And we come back to reality again, although it's not been far away, this noisy road. I must admit, the Erewash Canal this morning was nice, tranquil. There was a little bit of noise in the background, but overall it was a nice walk. Now this has been a nice walk on the way back, but it's just been quite noisy with the A610 being close by. So really all I've got now is road walking back to the train station. So I don't think you really want to see that bit. So what I'm going to do is say ta-ra from here. So cheerio. Hopefully we can get out of lockdown and I can get into the national parks. So until then, hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have, please like, please share, please add a comment. And until next time, so I can get a little bit of warm. This is a bit cool today. So, like usual, stay safe, look after yourselves, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye hikers.